Did you know 78% of current pet owners picked out a new companion during the COVID-19 pandemic? That's a lot of new furry family members to account for. But just what kind of fascinating trends have emerged? We're going to run down the most popular pets in the US in 2024, and we'll see if your favorite critter makes the list, plus a special mention at the end of our rundown for a pet that's on the rise. And to make things a little interesting, we'll share some fast facts about each pet along the way. We'll start at the top because these first two aren't going to be any surprise. Kicking off our list in the coveted top spot are dogs. There are over 65 million dogs living in our homes in the US. From big lovable labs to tiny feisty chihuahuas, dogs are the perfect loyal companions. But just how wallet-friendly is it to own a dog in your neighborhood? An analysis from Forbes found the most expensive cities to own a dog were Winston-Salem and Greensboro, North Carolina. Not what you expected? It was a combination of relatively expensive vet care, boarding, and lower incomes than some other large cities, making dog costs eat up a larger chunk of the budget. Some other more household names appeared on the top 10 too though, like New York, New Orleans, Las Vegas, and El Paso. Now, I bet every cat owner isn't surprised to see felines landing on their feet in second place. With approximately 47 million cats purring away across the nation, these independent yet affectionate pets leap into the runner-up position. Here's a fascinating fact about cats. Did you know that a cat's nose pad has a unique ridge pattern just like a human fingerprint? Now, what do you think makes people more likely to own a cat? Well, homeowners have more cats than renters, for one, and data show that Gen Z is most likely to have a cat over other generations. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. Before we hit number 3, though, we'd love it if you took a second to hit that like button and subscribe to Pet Spotlight to stay up to date on your pets. Now, not quite as petable as dogs and cats, but splashing into our top 3 are freshwater fish. Over 11 million brilliantly colored fish live in tiny worlds within water-filled tanks and bowls across the country. Goldfish, betas, neon-colored tetras, angelfish, and plenty of places like doctors and dentists have tanks in their offices too. Here's a mind-blowing fishy fact. Did you know that the longest living goldfish on record survived a whopping 43 years? At number 4 are all those little critters we call rodents or small mammals. We know we might be cheating a little bit by lumping them all together, but from hamsters to mice and bunnies to guinea pigs, almost 7 million of these creatures live in our homes across the US. And here's an absolutely wild fact. Gerbils are illegal to own as pets in California and Hawaii. Both states have a climate similar to the rodent's natural desert habitat, so if they escape into the wild, it's worried that they could form colonies and become an invasive species. Rounding out our top 5, we have our feathered friends, birds. There are over 6 million birds in cages and perches occupying our homes across the country. From petite parakeets to giant macaws, birds make playful and curious companions. One of the most common in pop culture are parrots. Parrots have zygodactyl feet with 2 toes facing forwards and 2 facing backwards that allows them to grasp and climb. You may also know that parrots have special vocal organs that allow them to reproduce many human speech sounds. Impressively, they actually seem to understand the meanings behind some of what they repeat back, and studies show that parrots can combine words to invent new phrases and hold real conversations. And remember, don't forget to stick around for a special honorable mention at the end of our rundown. But first, slithering into 6th place are reptiles. In the US, there are just about 6 million cold-blooded snakes, turtles, lizards, and more inhabiting cozy tanks. With scales instead of fur and unique adaptive traits like regenerating tails, exotic reptiles are intriguing pets. Fun fact, how do you think geckos climb vertical surfaces or even upside down? They actually have millions of microscopic hairs on their toes that allow them to climb smooth vertical surfaces, even glass. Before we go on, we'd love it if you dropped a comment to share about your pets, even if it's one that didn't make the list today. Now on to our 7th slot, where we find majestic horses. Over 2 million horses gallop across fields and are cared for in barns by equine enthusiasts from coast to coast. Caring for a horse can cost thousands of dollars a year with feed, boarding, vet bills, and more. Here's an incredible fact about how horses see. Because their eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, they have an astonishing 350-degree panoramic field of vision without even needing to move. And finally, in the 8th spot, we find saltwater fish. Now, tank maintenance is a lot more complicated, so there aren't nearly as many as freshwater fish, but over 2 million dazzling tropical swimmers show off in tanks and bowls like clownfish and other fun names like the blue-green chromies, starry blenny, and orange diamond goby. If you've ever seen Finding Nemo, you probably already know that clownfish actually form symbiotic relationships with certain kinds of sea anemone. The fish have a protective coating to prevent them from getting stings, so they stay safe inside an anemone while they fertilize it with their waste. And a bonus. Okay, we promised a special mention. This animal has been on the rise in backyards, but there are widely varying estimates of just how many there are. It's our favorite egg-laying poultry, chickens. As many as 13% of US households have domesticated chickens. Also, most of them are egg producers or being served for dinner, so it's a little hard to put them in the same class as the other pets we've covered. But don't sleep on chickens, teacup pigs, or even baby goats as pets of the future. Thanks for hitting subscribe before you go to watch your next Pet Spotlight video to learn more about what science has to say about your pets.